Alrighty, you ready for number 2? Here it is. How is your schedule? What does your classroom schedule look like? I don't know about you, but I like to use what's called the 1-minute rule. And what that means is if the majority of my class are 10 years old, then I know that I have 10 minutes in each segment to keep the kids interested. If the majority of my class are 5-year-olds, then 5 minutes is what I have in each segment. So that's a good rule to follow when you're working on discipline. And you can tweak that a little, make it a little more, a little less, depending on your group of children. Lots of dynamics go into that. But I strongly encourage you to use the 1-minute rule when figuring out what kind of schedule you need to create. Here's typically what I do, and then I'm going to help you decide on some things that you can do to improve your plan. Our take-in is only 15 to 20 minutes ahead of the class time. It's too taxing on my volunteers to ask them to stay in there for that long of a period of time, and I find that kids tend to get bored if they're with me for more than an hour and a half. So we have a 15-minute take-in time at the very beginning, and it's very structured. When they come in, there are 3 different activities they can do. They can go to each one and do them, just a little ping pong game or just something silly and simple, and they have to do each one of those to get Bible bucks or stickers or whatever we're offering that day. And so that keeps them busy. So activity take-in time, and then at the very beginning we have a big welcome with our mic. We use the mics. Introduce myself, introduce my volunteers, and then we recognize the kid of the week, and that's the kid from the week before that behaved the best. We award the kid of the week according to the golden rule, and we're always talking about the golden rule in children's church. And so that's an important thing that we do. Then we go on from that to introduce the lesson with the verse, and we will present that verse in lots of different ways, sometimes with the skit, sometimes with a puppet, sometimes just on a poster board, but we introduce the verse and we repeat the verse a few times. Sometimes it's not a verse, sometimes it's just a concept or an idea from the Bible, a principle, again, like the golden rule. So whatever it is, we introduce it, then we go right into our praise and worship. Now, typically in a perfect world, I like doing 3 songs at least, but there are times when we only do 2 songs. And what we'll do is we'll do the fast songs at the beginning and the slow song at the end. That way they're getting praise and worship, but we're not keeping them standing still for too long. I don't know about you, but even in our praise and worship, we're moving, we're jumping up and down, we're doing something to keep our bodies moving most of the time. So then from that, then we move on to a game. We have an activity or a game, no more than 5 minutes. And then we do the first part of our lesson, which is no more than 10 minutes. We break it up with either another object lesson, or we go back to the original object lesson and we look at it again, and then back to the lesson. So you see what I mean? We just keep breaking it up, and our schedule is constantly moving from beginning to end. And it's really important that you write down what your schedule is going to be. And so volunteers will know where you're going, what you're doing next, and what supplies they can get. And the kids kind of know that it's going to be hopping, it's going to be moving, and it sounds like a lot of work, but it's really not. And if you can keep a child's attention and to get the verse and to get the Bible story and to get the concept that you're trying to teach them, it is so worth it. So anyway, the 1-minute rule, keep it moving, make a list of your schedule and take a look at that. And let's see what you're doing. Are you spending way too much time in the teaching segment? I love to teach 30-minute blocks, but I always break it up, 10 minute, 10 minute, 10 minute. Sometimes I teach a 20-minute block. It's 10 minutes, something in the middle, 10 minutes more. You got to have something to break it up. So anyway, take a look at your schedule and think about reworking that. Think about cutting that take-in time if it's too much at the beginning. Think about what you can do to keep kids busy during the free time. Don't have too much free time. You might call it that, but you always want to have something for kids to do. Even if it's playing heads up, 7 up. You want to have something for kids to do. So that's number 2. Are you ready for number 3?